Okay, welcome back to the Speedrunner Gathering. We're ready for our next run, which is going to be Gravity Duck, run by Ulvind. So, good luck, have fun, Ulvind. Take it away.
Alright, hello everyone, my name is Ulvind, and this is Gravity Duck. So, you had some birds for this game. We're going to continue in the bird theme. So this game, I will explain briefly before we start. It's, if you remember VVVVVV, or V6 for short, this is basically the same principle except you're a duck. So yeah, it's a pretty neat game. It was a Flash game in the beginning of the 2010s. And there was a version that was released on Switch, PS4, PS Vita, and Xbox. So we're going to start really quick. The objective there will be to do the entirety of the 140 levels of this game. It's going to be pretty short. My PB is at 22:22, which I didn't practice like about an hour ago, and yeah, it's going to be pretty fun. Trust me. I'm going to need someone for the timer. Normally will be started. So we will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, Gravity Duck is the game is pretty simple at first. They basically tell you the basics. That you have one button you have the analog stick for the directions, you have the A button to flip, because you don't have a jump button, you have a flip button instead, and whenever you actually fall into one of those gravity wells, your character flips 90 degrees clockwise, and this will be important because we will actually, in some cases, we will actually have the character the egg that we have to get that is flipped in a certain direction. So we will have to use some creativity to actually make sure we hit it correctly. Oh. There we go. And the beginning of this game is pretty simple. And the deaths aren't very punitive. It's mostly you can lose up to 10 or 15 seconds per death, which is not exactly bad. But when you're going through a speedrun, it's not exactly the best solution. Okay, we're going to do this. Ooh, that was a little too short there. And so, if you recall, there was a game, a Flash game in the beginning of the 2010s called Gravity Duck. It doesn't have the same levels as it does here, but there are some similarities at least. And our objective there will be to collect the 140 levels that a Moai tells us to actually collect. I'm taking a little bit safe here. There we go. For some levels, you actually have a lot of strategies to make sure you go as fast as you possibly can. This is this bug right here. I think it's basically a homing attack. So you have to be extremely careful to not get hit by one of these homing attacks. And this, good. And when it's played at the highest level, basically the fastest speed, it goes extremely quickly. There you go. Oh, I was a little bit too late. There you go. I mean, I will mostly stay silent for a good chunk of the run, mostly because it's a game that requires quite a bit of concentration, and to make sure I don't mess up anything.
Would it be a good time to say a few words then?
Yeah, sure.
As well as a donation, because we just received a €5 donation from Satanic Nerd from the previous run, who was saying, "Cool to see Flippy Bird in this marathon." Thank you so much for that donation. And also a reminder that we are the Benelux Speedrunner Gathering. We organize bi-monthly gatherings in the Benelux for speedrunners. Due to the situation surrounding COVID-19, we're currently doing our extended BSG online event instead of our week-long annual, with streamers from both the Benelux and the rest of the world bringing you entertainment during the lockdown.
Alright, so we have finished the first world. You will see most of these worlds can be finished pretty easily. In about like 4, 5, 6 minutes. I think the first world I might have finished like slightly below 4 minutes, which is basically my objective. Some of these levels can be cleared extremely quickly. Most of these levels can be cleared extremely quickly. So because you have 35 levels for the first zone, which was the forest, 35 levels for this zone, which is called the underground, 30 levels for the mountains, and 40 levels for the city, which is the last zone of the game. And it gets pretty tricky. It gets pretty tricky pretty quickly, so you have to stay pretty focused for a good chunk of the run at least. And there are a lot of cycles here with the flamethrowers, for example. You have to have the right cycle, because if you miss the cycle for one of the flamethrowers, you basically lose about about half a second to a second. It's not the biggest time loss when you miss a cycle on this, but it can easily trip you up. All right. Going to wait a little bit here. So if you played the PS4 version, this is where you will actually get the achievement Platinum Duck, which is basically do the first 50 levels as fast as you possibly can. I don't know why I did this. There you go. Which is basically doing the first 50 levels as fast as you possibly can. And yeah, you can... Oh, yeah, no, that was bad. And most of the people... I know actually of some people that have tried to do some speedruns, in quotation marks, of this category. I'm actually the mod of this game on speedrun.com, so I decided to add this category as well, to maybe incentivize the PS4 players to come. I don't know. I mean, we're a very small community. We're only 3 players on the leaderboard, but we're pretty tight knit. And yeah. And the other 2 players and I have pretty much optimized every single level to the point the best known splits make the run extremely optimized. And even the world record by Woomy is actually pretty optimized. It's 19 minutes and 20 seconds, which I will tell you right now won't be my time at the end of this. I think basically you can shave off about 20 seconds tops from the run, like 20-25 seconds. He said, Woomy said a sub 19 was doable, but extremely difficult. So you never know. Maybe it will be done one day, but for the moment it's pretty hard to actually be consistent on this game, because, like I said, a death is not really punitive. It costs you about 5, 10, maybe 15 seconds for the worst section of the game. But you can do that pretty easily. There's a very tight window here where you could actually skip this entire section. Oh, yeah, I panicked. There was a very tight window where you could skip basically this entire section and basically saved a lot of time. Oh, there you go, there you go. Need you wait a bit. Oh, yep. And you can see that a small mistake like that can cost you quite a bit of time, especially when you're at the end of the level. And this, we actually have pretty much the fast track, and that's the end of the second world. A decent run, I would say, is basically below 10 minutes at the end of the underground. Thing is, I don't have the timer on me, so I have absolutely no clue what pace I have right now. But it seems to be a good pace. I haven't died quite as much as I expected at least. No, I'm going to wait. There you go. There you go. There you go. And yeah, you can see that most of, like, the 140 levels, they can be done extremely quickly. And this is where I will actually talk about the inertia of the character, because you can basically stop on the dime, and it makes it a little bit complicated to make sure you have the right, you stop on the right time. Because if you stop maybe a pixel too late, you get hit by the blocks right there, and have to restart the level all over again, which is a little bit unfortunate for going for a speedrun. Oh. Okay, so I have to... Oh. So if you have anything to say, like donations, if you want to plug a sponsor or anything, just go ahead.
We don't have any new donations, but I want to plug some things, of course. First of all, we want to thank ESA for supporting the event and also for allowing us to stream on their channel. For information about their upcoming events and any changes due to the COVID-19 outbreak, be sure to check out esamarathon.com. And also, yeah, we got some incentive to plug, because upcoming is the Super Mario Galaxy 2 run, Green Stars, and you can still donate for the perfect run, which means that the last level will be played with only 1 HP, and you will not want to miss that. But we still need to get to that incentive. There's still some way to go, so if you want to see that happen, be sure to donate for that.
Okay, so the thing is as well, that the character, how you position your character is not relative to, like, the movement is never relative to a character, but always relative to the camera. So for example, when you arrive... Okay, I have to focus for a second there, because this one is probably one of the most tricky sections. There you go. Because you have, when you actually arrive on a section where you will face on the right and have to go down, you will have to go down to press down and not to press anything else. Like, for example, here I'm pressing down, I'm not pressing right. Which makes it a little bit easier, at least. Have to wait a bit. There you go. Nope. You can do this cycle right here, but it's extremely close, and sadly I didn't have the time to pass through. Nope. There you go. Nope. Okay. For some levels, I actually have to wait for a cycle because I was probably a frame or two too late, which means I basically missed the cycle, the chance to have the fastest cycle. Which makes you lose about probably 3-4 seconds every time. That's why basically the world record is so low. It's because most of the cycles were hit, like the first cycles were hit. Going to wait a little bit here. There we go. Ah, God. That was a little bit too early, sadly. Okay. So here we're going to take it a little bit safer. I said a little bit safer. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Okay, good. I'm going to wait. There you go. And that's the end of the third world. We arrive on the fourth world, which is the city. It's actually the longest world of the run. Instead of having 30 or 35 levels, you have 40 levels this time. And there you go. Have to wait a bit. Come on. And most of these levels you can actually see are pretty much repeats of the first levels of the game. But some of these levels, mostly the last levels, will begin to be extremely hard and extremely long as well. Which makes for a pretty peculiar run where basically the hardest section is at the end. And if you want to stay within the estimate, that's basically where like all the runs go to die in PBs. Okay. So here you have the lasers, which do exactly the same thing as the flamethrowers, but instead of being like a second, I think. Instead of being 1 second, it's 4 seconds, which means if you lose a cycle, you basically lose 4 seconds. So you have to be extremely careful in what you do. There we go. So here you have to wait for the cycle. That was too early. That was too early. That's fine. That's fine. There you go. So most of these levels can actually be done pretty quickly, but you can easily get stuck on one of the levels because the cycles are always the same. That's the thing. There will never be a different cycle in any of your runs. Because if you die, the cycle gets reset, basically. I don't know why I did that. There you go. So here, this first section, you basically had to wait for the lasers to actually disappear. There you go. Going to wait a little bit here. There you go. And this section, if you don't press down on the controller, you will actually fall onto the spikes and have to redo the level all over again, which makes it very complicated to avoid. Oh, this time we have to wait for this cycle to end be pursued by the dog, and there you go. So the dog does exactly the same thing as the bull did in the mountains. Basically chases you around the platform, but only around the platform, which means if you're on the platform above, it won't target you. Have to wait for the cycle to end. There you go. Okay, this is a pretty hard level, so I have to wait for this cycle to end here. There you go. There you go. You can easily lose a lot of time on this section. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I'm going to wait. Oh my... Yeah. That was unfortunate. That was unfortunate. So this level is actually pretty complicated as well, because you have to juggle with pretty much everything. There you go. This section is pretty complicated because you have to basically flip 3 times as fast as possible to make sure you arrive on the right platform. So here, let's pray we have the right cycle. There you go. Because if you don't have the right cycle, you're basically forced to wait about like 10 to 15 seconds, which is not ideal in this case. We have to avoid the dog again. There you go. This one is pretty hard as well. You have to set up on the right pixel platform. And stop at the right time so you don't hit the spike on the side. Okay, we're going to wait here. There you go. And the last level of the game. So prepare for time. Oh my god. Yeah, I was a little bit too far here, so I have to reset this level, unfortunately. And time.
GG.
Okay, so I will just need the time right there. Or just need the time, because I can't see the time I did. Oh god, that's... Okay. That's a very good time. That's BB, actually. That's definitely a BB. So let me check. It's 21:52. Wow, that's... Okay, I didn't expect to have this sub 22 this soon, but I'll take that.
That's a huge PB.
Yeah, that's a 30-second PB, actually. I'm only 2.5 minutes behind from the world record now, which is nice. So yeah, this was Gravity Duck. I hope you enjoyed this game, and I will see you tomorrow morning with another game called Voice-Based Racing, which is basically it's a racing game in space. And finally, I will see you on... So I will see you as well, I think on the night between Friday and Saturday, like 3 in the morning, I will do some Mario Kart. That will be fun, trust me. So yeah, see you everyone, And thank you, BSG, for having me here.
Thank you so much to Ulvind and Gigi once again on that PB. Don't go anywhere, we're going out for a brief intermission, but we'll be back with More to Chicken by Rigold, so there'll be one right for sure. So stay tuned for that, we'll be right back.